Jaya Vivaradani, Jaya Vivaradani, Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Yashodanandana Vrajanarandana, Yashodanandana Vrajanarandana, Yamunatiramanachari, Tiramanachari, Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kundavi Hari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kundavi Hari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kundavi Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Mani Sudarshan, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Mani Sudarshan, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Mani Sudarshan, Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagani, Nayana Patagani Bhavati, Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagani, Nayana Patagani Bhavati, Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radha Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Sri Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Sri Radha Jaya, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Sri Radha, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Sri Radha. Jaya Gaurani Pai, Gaurani Pai, Gaurani Pai, Gaurani Pai, Gaurani Pai, Gaurani Gaurani Pai, Jaya Jaya Prabhu, Prabhu Jaya Jaya Prabhu, Jaya Jaya Prabhu, Prabhu Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Nitai ki, Hare Krishna. So today we'll be discussing the 11th shloka of 12th chapter of 4th canto. So Hare Krishna, welcome devotees who are joined. So we'll continue the session now. Hare Krishna. I'm just projecting the shloka now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Nashtaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksharam Militamena Tasmai Sri Gurve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupadamyam Dadati Sapadhantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Pariyana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Raita Shri Vishakam Shyam हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्ण. So I'll recite the shloka now. सर्वात्मनि अच्युते सर्वे तिरोघां भक्तिमुद्घानां Darshatmani bhuteshu tamevavasthitam vibhum. Word to word translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sarva Atmani unto the super soul. Achyute infallible. Asarve without any limit. Tivra Ogam with unrelenting force. Bhaktin devotional service. Udvahan rendering. Dadarsha he saw. Atmani in the Supreme Spirit. Bhuteshu in all the living entities. Tam him. Eva only. Avasthitam situated. Vibhum all powerful. Translation by Dhruva Maharaj rendered devotional service unto Supreme, the reservoir of everything, with unrelenting force. While carrying out his devotional service to the Lord, he could see that everything is situated in him only, and that he is situated in all the living entities. The Lord is called Achyuta because he never fails in his prime duty to give protection to his devotees. By Srila Prabhupada. Not only did Dhruva Maharaj perform many sacrifices, but he carried on his transcendental occupation of engagement in the devotional service of the Lord. The ordinary karmis who want to enjoy the results of primitive activities are concerned only with sacrifices and ritualistic ceremonies as enjoined in the Vedic Shastra. Although Dhruva Maharaj performed many sacrifices in order to be an exemplary king, he was constantly engaged in devotional service. The Lord always protects his surrendered devotee. The Lord can see that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarvabhutani Uddeshya Arjuna Tishtati. The ordinary persons cannot understand how the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. But a devotee can actually see him. Not only can the devotee see him outwardly, but he can see with spiritual vision that everything is resting in Supreme Personality of Godhead, as described in Bhagavad Gita, Matstani Sarvabhutani. This is the vision of Mahabharata. He sees everything others see, but instead of seeing merely the trees, the mountains, the cities, or the sky, he sees only his worshipable Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything because everything is resting in him only. This is the vision of Mahabharata. In summary, Mahabharata, highly elevated pure devotee, sees the Lord everywhere, as well as within the heart of everyone. This is possible for devotees who have developed elevated devotional service to the Lord. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilo, only those who have smeared their eyes with the ointment of the love of Godhead can see everywhere the Supreme Lord face to face. It is not possible by imagination or so-called meditation. Hare Krishna. Sarvatmi Achyute Sarve Triyogram Bhaktimat Udvana Dadarshatmanis Bhuteshu Tamevavasthitam Vibhum. Dhruva Maharaj rendered devotional service unto the Supreme, the reservoir of everything, with unrelenting force. While carrying out his devotional service to the Lord, he could see that everything is situated in him only, and that he is situated in all the living entities. The Lord is called Achyuta because he never fails in his prime duty to give protection to his devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, welcome devotees again for this Srimad Bhagavatam Zoom class with ISKCON Seshadripuram, and we'll continue the discussion now. So, as if you can recall, this is a story of Dhruva Maharaj, which is we are reciting since some maybe couple of months or so. And very interesting, very well-known story, we know that. But Prabhupada has given very nice purports, and we can understand the real philosophy, real things behind this story. So Dhruva Maharaj is a great devotee of God. So he was boy and he was sort of exiled from his kingdom. I mean, sort of denied the kingdom, so he has to go out. Then he wanted to do the tapasya, regain the kingdom. And in his aspiration of regaining the kingdom. Not only regain the kingdom, actually he wanted very bigger kingdom, very vast kingdom, which nobody can touch. Not even his great grandfather could achieve that. Even he wanted kingdom bigger than Brahmaji, his grand grandfather. So, and he was successful in the sense because he did very severe austerity. And Narada Muni guided him, blessed him. His own mother also blessed him, supported him. And but when the Lord was appearing before Dhruva Maharaj, Dhruva boy, rather that time, after this severe austerity, tapasya, Dhruva forgot the thing which he wanted to ask from the Lord, that is kingdom. He just forgot. He said, "No, I don't want." I mean, he thought the asking kingdom is like it's an insult, or it is like asking some petty things from the king. And what he wanted to ask, he wanted Lord's devotion. He just wanted to keep seeing the Lord. He wanted just devotion of the Lord. And that was the right mood he developed, right perspective he developed, right mood he developed. And that's what we all should follow. Because we will have a lot of desires initially, material desires. Initially, what? Even after many years of, at least I go through that. Uh, Initially, so many years of devotional service, still we have material desires. Because our mind is full of desires, and we have been doing it births and births, births and births. And our external ecological system also makes us to get dragged into all this, whatever it may be. But we have got desires. But then, instead of desires, we should always try to have desire of service of the Lord, devotion of the Lord. And the moment we get Lord's mercy or his devotee's mercy, as somehow or other, we will slowly be distasteful to the material desires. Without that, we cannot be even rejecting or ignoring or rejecting or give up our material desires. We cannot do that because it's very Maya is very strong. Lord's energy, Maya is very strong. So once we slowly get attached to Lord's devotion, Lord's devotional service, His devotees, it's a different world. We are in different world. We are in spiritual world, and then slowly we forget the lower taste. Prabhupada gives nice example. We will forget the lower taste if you achieve higher taste. And what is a higher taste? Higher taste is Lord's devotional service. And that's what we should aspire for. So Dhruva Maharaj got this higher taste, and he was not sort of very much okay with kingdom. But then Lord gave him the kingdom, and he regained his kingdom in that life. And later on also he was given a separate planets where it will not be destroyed. Means eternal planets, even in material world. There's nothing like in material world, everything gets destroyed at the end of at the 12 hours of Brahma, in the night of Brahma, then the life after the life of it is a repeated dissolution. So, but this planet doesn't get destroyed. That's and then it's having very different type of opulences and all the devotional services there. They are all attached to God. Lord's personal presence is there. So like that. So Lord blessed him in many ways, what he can even imagine beyond that. That's the beauty of Lord. We cannot even imagine what sort of, if we get the Lord's blessing, we may forget these material desires. We get very high level of spiritual devotional service, benediction from the Lord. And that's what we should expect. So nevertheless, so then Dhruva and Aksha had a fighting because they killed Dhruva's brother, and then Dhruva was devastating Akshas. And Swayambhu Manu has to intervene, and he said, no, you don't that because you're a devotee, you are at a very exalted position, you have to set a right example. There's no need of indiscriminate fighting. And because generally there was no indiscriminate fighting in that yoga. But this yoga, of course, Prabhupada writes is one of the purposes, the indiscriminate fighting. We want to kill some people, group of people, or some group of the section of the nation or some area, and the nations are targeting each other with all sort of weapons, and then it is killing the innocent people. Of course, Prabhupada right also, nobody is innocent that way, because we are all getting our own reactions of cow killing, and then all this animal killing, and then all this intoxication and all those. So it is all reactions we are going to get. And the more we are sinful, more we are going to get into trouble. Prabhupada writes very clearly. That's what is happening. So when one way it is indiscriminate, say second way it is actually it's going to happen. But anyway, it's indiscriminate technically speaking. So Prabhupada clears that point also. So here, so he stops, Dhruva Maharaj stops, and then Swayambhu preaches him. Then Kubera comes. Kubera also preaches him. You should do the devotional service now. You should set a right example. And of course, then Dhruva Maharaj subsides his anger. It happens because he was being a Kshatriya, very young Kshatriya. He was sort of carried away by anger because they killed his brother unlawfully or whatever it may be. And that's what it was. So anyway, he was corrected at right time. And then and there, these slokas are there. Last some slokas says that what was the Dhruva Maharaj activity. So Dhruva Maharaj actually was engrossed into devotional service. That's the Prabhupada make that point. And this sloka mentions it very clearly. He actually, it's like a bhakti udvahana, rendering devotional service. Bhaktim udvahan means rendering devotional service to the Lord. So it is mentioned here that Dhruva Maharaj did a lot of sacrifices, he did a lot of charity, he did a lot of pious activities there. But he, along with that, because they are all yagyas, they are good for society, for overall ecological system. You satisfy them. So he did all that because that was there in that yoga. Not only that, but at its core of its heart, he was actually doing the devotion service. Prabhupada brings just what is directly mentioned here, bhakti. And that is the real driving force. That should be the real driving force for each and good activity what we do. Without bhakti, doing any pious activities will simply result into karma phala, which again will get entangled. So Prabhupada mentioned that here. He was very much, we are doing at its core of his word, devotional service. Then Prabhupada brings very important point here, and which we should try to understand it today, especially. He's using the word Mahabhagavata at one place. Here it is the vision of Mahabhagavata. He's right. Prabhupada is saying that. This is the vision of Mahabhagavata. And Prabhupada defines Mahabhagavata what? He defines that, I'll just try to read exact the wording. In summary, a Mahabhagavata, a highly elevated, pure devotee, sees the Lord everywhere as well as within the heart of everyone. So this is the Prabhupada defines key. Mahabhagavata means actually he is seeing everywhere Lord. Now let's try to understand this. Now we see this material prakriti, we see the material world around us, trees, rivers. Then we see we are eating food, we are eating fruits. Then we see so many living entities around us. We see everything good, everything bad happening around. Sun is rising, sun is rising, setting up nicely. So we see everything. But as a general person who doesn't have that devotion to the Lord, he will see as some phenomena, material phenomena. Okay, sun is rising. Okay, fine, good. Sun is there. Sun rising. Okay, sun is. And then he keeps enjoying all this. That particular person who doesn't have this vision, Mahabhagavata vision, ordinary people, he will keep seeing these interacting with it, this material nature, deriving whatever he want to derive, some pleasure, some material pleasure out of it, without correlating, without connecting with Lord. And Prabhupada writes, this is a misery. Why? Because we need to develop that Mahabhagavata vision. Everybody of us should develop that Mahabhagavata. We should follow this. We should not imitate, but we should follow the footsteps of Mahabhagavata vision. Dhruva Maharaja Mahabhagavata. Prabhupada himself was obviously Acharya. And then there are many, we see the Vaishnava Acharyas, and then they are all. So this vision basically, and Prabhupada writes here, it is much more beyond liberation. Normally, because Prabhupada writes here, even the so-called meditators or so-called mental speculators cannot get this Mahabhagavata vision or cannot derive that pleasure of this Mahabhagavata vision. They cannot. Why? Because they lack love for Godhead. Now one may ask, why only the love for Godhead is required to have this Mahabhagavata vision, and why only devotees get that what you call very premium, premium like of devotion. Because that is how it works. Because Lord, everything belongs to Lord. He's a proprietor. He's a proprietor of everything. He's a maintainer of everything. He's an enjoyer of everything. This is the right perspective. This is a reality. It's not some artificial story Bhagavatam is speaking up there. It is because everything, and we can use our logic. We can use our very simple common sense logic that yes, everything is working so nicely. When we see the sunrise, is it going to happen just like that? Under whose instruction sun is working? Because they are all, Prakriti is like a dead matter. Prakriti is like a dead matter in the sense you can see this Prakriti is like a non-living thing. Of course, there is a Maya, there is a Durga Devi behind it, Prakriti, and behind that also ultimately Lord is there. That's a different. But ultimately, every non-living thing moves with the intervention of some living force. So Prabhupada writes at some other place also, you can easily understand when this material world is working, there must be somebody who is actually driving it. And that is how we should understand that ultimately Lord is driving. And it is mentioned in many Vedic literature and Bhagavatam and everywhere almost, even Bhagavad Gita also, this is all driven by me. It works under me. Maya Dakshan Prakriti Characharam. Under my instruction, this Prakriti works. Lord says that directly. And devotees have seen that. Devotees have shared their experiences in throughout Bhagavad. They saw the Lord. They are glorifying the Lord. Your Brahma Samhita is saying, you are the original person, and under your proprietorship, under your control, everything exists. Everything is working under your, as per your wish, as per your desire. That's what every now and then Lord is glorified, because it's not just story. It is actually devotees have seen that. Lord's devotees, big souls, Mahajanas, they have actually witnessed it. And here also, it is mentioned here. So, Prabhupada list down many, what is this Mahabhagavata vision? So, Prabhupada said at one place, it is beyond mukti. Why? Because mukti means what? Mukti means you will get rid of this material entanglement, material world, and be situated in a impersonal Brahman. But you will not get a real taste of the Lord's 6 Aishwaryas and your sweet relationship with Lord and sweet relationship of serving the Lord. You will not get that. So they lack that. So they is not perfect. And this is a vision. If you are devotee, you will get this Mahabhagavata vision, means you will see everything. Even in material world also, you will see the Lord. Because you will not only see, means not on the mental platform, you will actually witness. Prabhupada writes here very clearly. The devotee witnesses, devotee experiences, is realized, is experiencing it, Lord's presence every now and then in this very material world. So for him, for devotee, for perfect devotee, for a very, for acharya like devotees, there is no difference between material and spiritual world in that sense. Because they see everything is God. Lord's, everything happens by Lord's desire. If something good happened to them, oh, it's Lord's desire. Something not very good happens to them, bad happens to them, oh, it's Lord's desire. And actually it's true. Because Lord will never do any harm to any his devotees. Because Lord is actually protecting the devotees. But if sometimes something bad also happens, devotee has got that capability to interpret that particular incidents to him, that particular interaction to him as Lord's mercy. And he can actually understand what is the purpose of Lord by in this where I may be getting some trouble. The devotee has got that vision. And if we get this vision, will we will not be happy? Yes, we will be happy because we are unhappy because we are either fearful of the distress condition, fearful of this unhappiness, sorrows. Either we are fearful or we are actually facing that and we are very, not very happy. But if you say whatever happens to me is Lord's mercy, and one remains into Lord's devotional service, completely unaffected by this so-called happiness and distress of the material world, then we'll be at a transcendental platform. And that is what Mahabhagavata achieves. Because he doesn't have any fear. Because he knows there's nothing to fear. Whatever happens is Lord's plan. It's always going to be ultimately good for us. Good for us. This is one thing. And because if you see, Prabhupada writes at many places, it is not possible to become fearless. It is not possible to become fearless. It is not possible to become anxiety-free, stress-free without surrender to Lord. Very big statement of Prabhupada out because he was he was Acharya. He has realized it, everything. And we at a very small scale can understand this. And we can also start experiencing this if we sort of continue surrendering to Lord, continue our mood of surrender. So, because we know ultimately Lord is there to protect us. So, Prabhupada writes here, the ultimate objective or the main, Lord always protects his devotee. He never fails in his duty. He never ignores devotee. What can be more, happy news for us than this? Because somebody is there who is controlling everything, also protects us. So there's no reason to be distressful. So once we develop this vision, and initially it may be on mental platform, theoretical reason, but then when we experience this in day-to-day life, yes, Lord is there to help me out. Lord is there to ultimately take care of me. And then that fear goes, and the whole problem is material world is fear. Only fear is the problem. Material world means fear. And due to fear only we are unhappy. This fear, constant fear of uncertainty, dukkhalayam shashvatam, is boggling us. And we keep getting into trouble. But if we remove that fear, which is not possible, Prabhupada says, by some theoretical understanding of some, philosophy or not by some meditation. No, it is going to be possible only when you actually start experiencing the presence of Lord around you, in others, in all our prakriti, whatever we see around, when we interact, when we say Lord is there is a purpose, then we can see perfect plan behind everything. Nothing happens without any plan of the Lord. And Lord cannot be Lord, then nothing bad can happen if you are surrendered to Lord. So-called bad may happen for some time, but ultimately it is good. So with this vision, we will develop that fearlessness. Oh yes, because and then we'll get that relief from the material world. That yes, ultimately we are on the right path, and the Lord is there to protect me. Then in that case, once we are free from all these anxieties, all these so-called struggle for existence, we may physically struggle little bit. We may have to exist. We have to exist on physical level till we achieve that perfection in devotional service. Till that time, but then you will not realize that you will not be working. You will be working on a transcendental platform, not on a material platform. And the miseries of material life, miseries of bodies will be least affecting you. Of course, there will be some because we are still have got that material consciousness. So the extent we have got this material consciousness, that to that extent we are suffering. But one thing is very sure, it has reduced substantially, and that is what we, and that is the experienced devotees and realized soul says, devotees says to, has told to us, Prabhupada himself written, and there are many, you start getting relief from this material world. And Lord protects devotee because Lord is in charge of your life. If you surrender, problem is we don't surrender fully. We have got our own desires. We have got doubt. Oh, if I surrender, what will happen to me? Whether Lord will protect me. So every now and then, Lord is saying that in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Antam sarvapapyo mokshasya mahasucha. Bhagavatam, every now and every pastime of Lord, every pastime of devotee ultimately concludes saying that, oh, it's all ultimately you, Lord, everywhere. It's all your plan, Lord, everywhere, everything, everywhere you exist, in everybody you exist. I am also yours. And then they surrender, or they continue that devotion. This is the whole, every story will culminate into this conclusion that Lord is everywhere and I am his servant. And they are happily concluding the story. Because these are the pastimes of Lord, these are pastimes of his devotees, everywhere you see. The whole Bhagavatam is meant to glorify Lord and establish him as a, establish in the sense, uh, give us that relishment of testing Lord's devotion. Establish him, yes, Lord is the supreme person, and it is your duty to surrender to him. This is the whole Bhagavatam song. So that's how it's happening. Now, we were just discussing what is this Mahabharata vision means. First of all, this is not available for so-called mukticharis or mental speculators. No, it is only for devotion. Devotion means you have got love towards God, Godhead Supreme. That is devotion. And you are surrendered. It's available to only to them. This is very important. This is very highest position. And Lord reciprocates. Then another thing is you see everything in Lord. Everything belongs to Lord. So you correlate everything to Lord. And Lord also is there in everything, in both ways. Now, then you see everything, means Lord in everybody. So you see every soul as a part and parcel of Lord. So these are the things, the vision devotee will develop. Mahabharata vision. Then you will see Lord is reciprocating with you once you start developing this consciousness. That's why Prabhupada calls it Krishna, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Krishna consciousness means this exactly the Mahabharata vision. Means we have to become Krishna's presence everywhere. We have to become our position to Krishna, constitutional position to Krishna as a servant. This is all Krishna consciousness. Correct? This is what simple to understand. So, as we develop this vision slowly, Lord will reciprocate to us to that extent that you will come to know it's a Lord's plan, and you can feel presence of Lord. People ask, no, you show me the God. Now Prabhupada writes at in one of his lectures, people come and ask me, show me the God. Prabhupada say, have you got a vision to see the God first of all? You don't have eyes to see the God. What nonsense you are talking? I mean, Prabhupada is saying, why you are asking the God, so why you are asking to seeing the God without developing the proper vision? That's what Prabhupada says. Then Prabhupada says, you have to first develop surrender to Lord. Understand who is Lord, What is his position? You try to execute the devotional service. Then you will see the Lord everywhere. Prabhupada says, I see the Lord everywhere, sitting here next to me. They are sitting here. He's, then why? Because he has developed that Mahabhagavata vision. No, Prabhupada was a Acharya for the Mahabhagavata. So that's what how we have to just follow the Prabhupada's footsteps. Now, how to do this? Prabhupada has given that, or whole Bhagavatam is writing. How you should develop this vision. So we can develop this vision by simple practical means. First of all, we have to understand at a very basic level. We don't have to get too much into theoretical jugglery or too much into philosophy, but basic tattva jnana, basic philosophy we must have. Knowledge we must have. What is that? Lord is a proprietor. How is a proprietor? Because it is mentioned in Shastras. Shastric references are there. You can logically feel that everything is moving, working so perfectly in material world. There must be somebody. He is Lord. Simple to understand. Then we can, this is the way we can, sort of develop that knowledge. Who is a controller? There is somebody controlling us. Who is that? It will be only Lord. Because whoever belongs to this material world, he only can control. Very simple. Then Shastra says everything has to be offered to Lord. Lord himself is saying, so Shastric references day to day we can see, and by historical or studying Purana literature, we can see everything was offered to Lord and they were satisfied. And in practical word also, nowadays nobody cares for the Lord's supremacy and people are just doing everything for this. So they are suffering. But you go 50 years back, I'm not talking about even thousands of years back. That is there. But 50 or 100 years back, people used to offer food to Lord. Now we in ISKCON do. In ISKCON we do. And in India we do. Many of our Vaishnava culture, they offer the food to the Lord. That's very limited. But otherwise people are just eating. They are of earlier all over. At least I used to see like grandfather, grandmother, and they used to whatever they will do, they will first put photo of Lord, or they will say it's for you. And even if suppose they have got very nice crop in the field on that particular season, then they'll first grain, some grain they'll offer to Lord. It's how it was working. How there was prasadam distribution in every temple. Now also it's there, but now it's reducing. So everything they have to offer to Lord, they used to offer to Lord. So that vision they were developing. Okay. So basically, Prabhupada has given that formula to us. You offer everything to Lord. Understand, first of all, knowledge that Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is enough to understand. Chaitanya Charita is enough to understand. We don't have to go beyond that into too much philosophical. Lord is the final, supreme. Lord Krishna is the supreme. That's all. Once you understand everything is meant for him. Once we understand that, then we start experiencing, applying it day-to-day life. Prabhupada has given that formula. And then Navavidhi Bhakti says that ki Sravanam Kirtanam. So you start listening about Lord, listening about his philosophy, his pastimes, all this. Sravanam, Kirtana. You start talking about Lord, start chanting Lord's name. So you will realize because chanting will purify our heart. You are currently, why we are not able to realize this Mahabhagavata vision? Because we have got this egoistic desire to enjoy the material world ourselves. We are not ready to accept Lord's authority, or we are in ignorance. So this tendency, which is contamination in your heart, will go away slowly if you start chanting Lord's name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Like that. If you keep chanting Lord's name, your heart will get purified. And we start developing that vision. We start experiencing that there's somebody who is actually guiding me from inside. Somebody's there from inside who is sending me outside, some people also who will guide me. So this whole arrangement you can understand. Yeah, it is all, there's an arrangement, there's a whole mechanism or team working for my progress in spiritual life. That's, you can see that. And we can, this we can experience as a devotee, even though we are not at that Mahabhagavata vision, obviously, but to some extent we can understand that's enough for us to go one step further, and keep developing that vision. Of course, we should not imitate the Acharya, but we can develop that vision and try to apply it on day-to-day life very nicely. So in this way, Sravana, Kirtana, Vishnu Sparana, you keep remembering Lord everywhere. Remembering means what? Remembering means you start thinking about it. If something happens, oh, Lord has done this. Oh, Lord has given me this good thing. Oh, something happened bad. Oh, Lord would have punished me because I would have done some of it. And then you keep remembering Lord's past time, how Lord, and then devotees past time. So it's like remembering the Lord, Vishnu's part. Everywhere you keep correlating to Vishnu and calling the Vishnu name, and that's how it is. So Vishnu's part. Shravanam Kirtam Vishnu Savan, Pada Sevan, like Atmani Vedam. So like you offer everything what you have got to Lord. You don't have to lose it. You don't have to, worry about anything. Whatever Lord gives you, you offer to Him. And in this way, we'll develop that practical, with this practical, this all actual bhakti has to be exerted. So with this 9 process of devotional service, you will slowly develop that vision. You will, and then beyond this also, when you transact day to day, when you see everything in that, so you see in this vision that everything belongs to you. Then you will find that you are you are actually being protected by Lord. There is a Lord is reciprocating with you. And once you start testing this um, very transcendental feeling, every rest follows. Everything will follow. Everything will be all right. And you can start gaining that knowledge also. You will be, and things will be better. So this is how Prabhupada writes here. One has to develop the this Mahabharata vision. So Prabhupada stresses the point here, which I mentioned some time back also. We should not get into too much into all this meditation and this all mental speculation. You have to just start executing the devotional principle or devotional methods. And Navavidha Bhakti, we should start executing it. And Bhakti is all about experience. Bhakti is all about realization. Bhakti is not all about mental speculation or not some principles or some tattvic discussion. No, Bhakti is all about what you experience. And what you will experience, the real core of the Bhakti experience is basically how Lord is interacting with you, how is Lord is reciprocating with you. And you will get that bliss of interacting with Lord slowly. It takes time. And then our path is on. So this is what Prabhupada ultimately, mentions in this purport, that Dhruva Maharaj actually was narrowed down to bhakti by doing so many initial lot of tapasya, material desires, then somewhere in between, and then he ultimately achieved this. And he was like living like a life of Mahabharata vision, where he was completely engrossed into devotions. And that's the perfection of life. That's the perfection of life. And we also should follow Dhruva Maharaj's footsteps. Prabhupada has guided us. So that's how. So today, this I wanted to share. I think this is all we can discuss now. Any questions, comments? Today there are not many devotees except Prabhuji is there, but if any question, comments are there, fine. Otherwise, we can close the session for today. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, if there are no questions or comments, then we'll conclude the session for today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. And please keep coming on this platform. Hear Bhagavatam daily and get blessed. Hare Krishna. Keep chanting Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.